Is it a small sin for you to weary man? But will ye weary my God also? Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and thou shalt call his name Emmanuel, which means God is with us.
Three hadiths that have different wordings. You've got the fact that Muhammad is planning to expel Jews and Christians, not as you have lied, that he has planned to limit the existence of Jews and Christians. So here's my question, Muhammad. Now notice they're not even listening. Notice they're not even listening.
Are you done? Are you done?
I'm going to interrupt you because you interrupted me.
So you're going to interrupt me?
Yes, because you interrupted me.
Yeah, no, so what's the point?
Because when you do it, it's okay, but when I do it, it's wrong.
It's wrong for both. Look,
so why did you do it?
I think
so why did me, Mohammed? And I said I would interrupt you if you interrupted me.
Do you want to keep doing this?
So do you want to have a conversation? Will you not interrupt me? Will you not interrupt? You said you can't speak to me because your English is not good enough. Now, ladies and so Mohammed, if you don't want me to interrupt you, the deal is simple. I will not interrupt you if you do not interrupt me.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So I'm going to make a point.
Okay.
Then I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
I'm going to let you make a point.
Okay.
And then I would ask you to make one point and let me reply, and backwards and forwards we go.
This is a debate.
So 1 second. It does not say in your hadith what you have falsely said.
Okay.
You'll have lied with your lips about your own prophet. Because in your hadith, it doesn't say I plan to limit the Jews and the Christians in the Arabian Peninsula. We read two hadiths to you, and in both of those hadiths, it says they are different. They're different words. Now you're interrupting again, so I can interrupt you whenever I want. I can interrupt you just like whenever I want because you interrupted me. So don't complain. So in your contradictory hadiths that have different wordings, you've got the fact that Muhammad is planning to expel Jews and Christians, not as you have lied, that he has planned to limit the existence of Jews and Christians. So here's my question, Muhammad. Now notice they're not even listening. Notice they're not even listening. Muhammad, my question to you is this. What does the word expel mean?
Not genocide. Not genocide. Are you done? Are you done?
I'm going to interrupt you because you interrupted me.
So you're going to interrupt me?
Yes, because you interrupted me.
Yeah, no, so what's the point?
Because when you do it, it's okay, but when I do it, it's wrong.
It's wrong for both. Look,
so why did you do it?
I think
so why did you do it? So why did you do it?
I think
so why did you do it, Mohammed?
Because he made a claim in the middle of the talk.
So I can interrupt when you make a claim.
You said two hadiths. I told you one hadith, two books.
I quoted two hadiths, and they are different. They are different. So I'll prove it to you, because you weren't listening. I'll prove it to you, Mohammed. Go and look up. Wait, we've got. So go and look up. Right, this is inside. Listen, go and look up. Where's the brother who had the other hadith? He's gone. He's gone. So in Musnad Ahmed, the words are that if I live, inshallah, I will expel the Jews and the Christians.
Okay.
Okay? Right, that's what he said. But here, it says in Sahih al-Muslim, I will expel the Jews and the Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and not leave any but the Muslims. So in other words, we have two hadiths that are different. That are different. That are different. That's a different thing. It's a different thing, but it's relevant. So we've got problems that the hadith can interrupt you. Here it says, I live, inshallah. Where's the inshallah in Sahih al-Muslim? Sahih al-Muslim insults Muhammad because Sahih al-Muslim doesn't have Muhammad say inshallah. And shouldn't a Muslim say inshallah when they're making forward plans? So Sahih al-Muslim portrays Muhammad as a bad Muslim, but Musnad Ahmed says inshallah.
You're teaching us Islam.
Thank you.
Are you teaching us Arabic from one topic to another? Let me give you a nice suggestion. Very nice one. He's teaching us Arabic and Islam.
Yes.
Very nice one.
I'll teach you English as well if you like.
If you want to have a debate,
you shouldn't interrupt.
If you want to have a proper
you shouldn't interrupt, should you,
I
Mohammed?
suggest you speak to one of the many scholars that we have on this.
That run away from me.
No.
Every
They run
week.
away from me?
Yes. They run away from me every week.
They run away from
we got it on camera, bro.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Because I have seen videos.
I've got camera. Well, one second, Mohammed. Because the thing is, you just spoke without knowledge. I've got video evidence of me going up to Ali Dawah and him walking off. Going up to Mansour and him refusing to debate me. Going up to Hashim and him refusing to debate me. Going up to Muhammad Hijab and him refusing to debate me. Going up to that fat sheikh over there and him refusing to debate me. So I've got it all on camera, bro.
I don't appreciate your language at all. Fat sheikh, this is
I don't appreciate being interrupted.
I can say to you,
he calls Christians far worse things, but you don't go and correct him, do you?
Like what?
He goes up, he's insulted me. I've got it on camera. He's insulted me, but will you go and correct him for that? I don't think you will.
If he uses bad words?
Then here's my suggestion. Thank you, bro. Here's my suggestion to you. Is go and look at the video evidence yourself. You can find it on there, and you'll see them running away.
I know your channel.
Okay. Right. Yes, brother.
Sorry, just one question. He says that praying 5 times a day is not in the Quran.
Yeah, okay, well, here's a challenge then. Right, now notice we're moving on now to a different topic.
No.
Right, brother, I'll talk to you. Just going to interrupt me. He said to you that the 5 prayers are in the Quran. Great, show me.
No. I said they're not.
Yeah, I know it isn't. Well, if he's saying that it is, show us. Where's the 5 prayers in here?
In the Quran.
Where?
I'm not here to debate.
I'm not here to debate. You're just here to tell people things that are not true.
You want me to debate?
You are trying to debate me, sir.
I ask you, but you said to me, I don't want to change the subject. You don't talk about IDF. And now, you want to change the subject for the 5-time prayer.
Is it wrong what the IDF are doing to the Palestinians?
I said, I'm not going to make a comment.
He's not going to make a comment. Do you know why he doesn't want to make a comment? Do you know why he doesn't want to make a comment? Because if he condemns the IDF, he has to condemn Muhammad. And he doesn't want to condemn Muhammad, so he can't condemn the IDF. I must be the only Christian that has managed to get a Muslim to say he won't condemn the IDF.
But this is not a constructive discussion anymore. I bid you adieu.
I bid you adieu as well. Mohammed, if you want to come back maybe another time and debate me without interrupting me, we can have a far more constructive conversation.
No one can interrupt you.
Okay.
No one can interrupt you.
Your voice is so loud.
Because I interrupted immediately back.
Your voice is
so loud. I cannot interrupt you.
Right, so
I cannot
so have a conversation where you don't try to talk over me. I know you can't. It's a blessing from God for me.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You want to call it a blessing?
Mohammed, do you have a Bible?
I do have, yeah.
Okay. I would encourage you to read it and come back and ask questions.
About the Bible?
Yes, feel free. If you want to ask questions now, I'll talk about Christianity. And if you promise not to interrupt me, I won't interrupt you.
I'll tell you something very nice.
Okay. Are we not interrupting now?
No. Very, very simple thing. I cannot get my hand around the Trinity in any way or shape.
Sure.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any factual sense or even a spiritual sense.
Yep.
So I have a fundamental issue with the theology of Christianity.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go deeper because I cannot accept the fundamental belief itself. I don't have a similar issue with Islam.
Right. Can I reply to that?
Look.
No. You've made a comment. It's only fair now you listen to a reply. Right?
Okay.
I speak to atheists, agnostics, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists. Okay. You know the only group that consistently say they can't understand it? Muslims. I can talk to Buddhists and they can disagree with it but understand it. I can talk to Jews and they can understand it and disagree with it. I can speak to Hindus and they can... Now notice you're interrupting again. Notice you're interrupting again. So that tells me something. It tells me that Muslims are being willfully ignorant. I.e., you're making a choice not to understand it because your Quran gets it wrong. Your Quran gets it wrong. Your Quran says that I believe in 3 gods and it names the gods as Jesus, Allah and Mary. And that's not me linking those verses together. It's Ibn Kathir who is linking those verses together in his tafsir. There you go.
You're making things up.
No, I'm really not. Really not.
Okay,
You mean like I made up the hadith about genocide
the Trinity
that we then showed you?
No. Our Trinity does not include Mary. Okay?
That's not what your Quran says, is it?
No. That's what my Quran says.
No, it really doesn't.
Include Mary. No,
it doesn't.
No.
So I'll show you. I'll prove to you you're wrong again. Okay.
You missed the right.
There is a verse that says. There is a verse that says.
Mr. Know everything.
Right, hold on one second. So in 5116, Surah 5, 116.
I think it's Holy Quran. نتكلم على الآية بتاعت هل قلت لهم يتخذوني وأمي إلهين من دون الله.
Okay, so we're talking about Jesus here, and so we're talking about what Christians believe, because Christians believe in Jesus.
Can I take a photo?
And on the day of judgment, it says,
Rob, can I take a photo?
of course you can. Yeah.
So yeah. But it doesn't
Okay, hold on one second. One second.
Includes Mary.
And behold, Allah will say, O
Yes.
Jesus, son of Mary, did
Yes,
thou
yes,
say
yes.
unto men,
Yes.
me and
my mother. Yeah, I know
as
this, sir.
gods
Yes.
in derogation
Yes.
of Allah?
Yes.
How many gods is that?
No.
How many gods is
no,
that?
No. That's just what it says.
How many gods is that?
It says.
How many
have
gods
you
is that?
told, It says.
How many gods is that,
It
Muhammad?
says, have you taught two? Him and his mother.
In derogation to who?
It tells them.
In derogation to who?
In derogation means.
Notice he didn't add
No,
Allah.
No.
The verse says Allah, but he didn't add Allah.
Are you done? Can I speak?
Well,
Can I speak?
You know, when you interrupt me, I
It's so
interrupt
loud.
you.
It's so
That is the
loud.
logic.
It's so loud.
When you stop interrupt me, Matt, no, you don't get to be arbiter here because you've been interrupting me as well. When you guys cannot
There is no
interrupt
point.
me,
There is no point.
I will not interrupt you. It's a really basic rule.
There is no
You
point.
can't demand to be listened to and then interrupt people.
He wanted to
Go on.
describe the script. He wanted to describe the script. Give him.
Yeah.
Let's give him.
So go on. I'll hold my Quran.
Okay, so it says, وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ.
Right.
God says, Isa, or
Yeah.
Jesus, the son of Mary,
Yes.
have you told your people to take you and your mother as gods instead of God,
Yeah.
instead of Allah,
Yeah.
not with Allah,
Yeah.
instead of Allah.
Okay.
So this is not three. This is two instead of one. Okay? And another verse it says, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. Those who have said that God is a triunal God have been blasphemous. Okay? So the Trinity in Islam is not explained as God, Mary, and Jesus, God, or Allah and Mary. It doesn't say that. So I'm telling you, my main issue, let's say it's just a fundamental issue, is the fact that Trinity doesn't make any sense. Don't put me in a bucket with all of the Muslims. My reasons are my reasons. They're valid, objective reasons. I cannot get my head around the idea that it's three persons, one essence, three persons, coexistence, co-equal, but yet the Father knows more than the Son. The Father can do more than the Son does. The Son listens to the Father all the time. The Holy Spirit listens to the Father. So there is some sort of disparity in authority here. That disparity does not mean they are co-equal coexistence.
Can I reply?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Now, did you see, Mohammed, how easy it was to let the other person speak without interrupting them?
No, I don't.
Right? So now let's see if you can actually demonstrate manners that are better than mine. Because I've demonstrated that I can listen to you. Firstly, let me correct you on something. Right? The way that it should be translated is not the way that you translated it. Because the way it should be translated is more accurate to say, as gods in derogation of Allah, is a more accurate translation of the Arabic than the one that you offered. Now, I'm going to go with the translation of Abdullah Yusuf Ali. Why? Because I am unaware that you have produced a translation of the Quran, but I am aware that Abdullah Yusuf Ali was a linguist, and I don't think you're a linguist. I don't think you're a professional linguist, but he was. So, I'm going to go with his translation and correct your translation. I'm also going to correct your translation about the other verse that you mentioned, because it doesn't say, as you wrongly translated, a triune God. It says, say not three, for Allah is one God. Right? So it's contrasting three gods with one God as going too far in your religion. And I want to be clear, Ibn Kathir, in his tafsir of these two passages, links them together. He says in his tafsir that Christians worship three gods, and he links it to the idea of worshipping Allah, Jesus, and Mary. So unless you're claiming to be a better unless you want to say on record that you're better than Ibn Kathir in giving Tasfir on the Quran, then I'm going to go with Ibn Kathir. Would you like to make that claim that you are better than Ibn Kathir in giving Tasfir on the Quran? Would you like to make that claim?
Are you done?
Yes.
So you're done.
I want you to answer my question though.
So you're done.
I mean, I didn't get onto the second part of you said, but yeah, I'll let you stop.
No, get to the second part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can address all of them at the same time.
All right. So to address your second part, you have demonstrated to me that you don't understand the Christian worldview by the comments that you've made. Because we Christians believe in the incarnation. And in the incarnation, all of those things that you remonstrated about, such as Jesus not knowing but the Father knowing, Jesus doing the will of the Father and thus having a different level of authority, all of these things are understood and addressed. And also him limiting himself, to having food and to needing sleep. All of those things are addressed in our understanding of the incarnation. But it's a little cheap, Mohammed, for you to make this argument when you believe that I am holding in my hand literally right now the very words of Allah. I am on this page right now. No, there's the Arabic. There's the Arabic that you literally believe that I'm holding the words of Allah in a book. That if I've lifted up, I lift up the word of Allah. If I put it down, I put down the word of Allah. If I am to do like millions of people do in Saudi Arabia and flush it down the toilet, then I flush the word of Allah down the toilet. But when I point that out to you, you'll say this. You'll say, no. Anything you do to the paper and the ink, not to the word of Allah. And so you make a distinction between the divine and the material in the same way that Christians do. In other words, the divine can exist in a limited form whilst itself being unaffected by its very limitations.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. How does what you just said right now explains the disparity in the authority between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
Okay.
So there are two things. Okay. The word that comes out of your mouth, it's a word. You put it on a paper, it doesn't matter because it's a word. Now, when we say that the Quran is a revelation from God through Gabriel to Muhammad, so it's a revelation. It's the words of God because God said them and revealed them unto Gabriel to Muhammad. So you can do whatever. It's a book. The Quran was revealed in a verbal format, not a book. There was no book that was sent from up there. And I'm not sure if you know, but the Quran was revealed in 20 years. So this entire book that you have was not revealed at once. At 20 years. Some of them were revealed in certain contexts, certain situations, circumstances. So it's a 20-year revelation. Okay? So when you're trying to make a simile between the Word of God and an actual incarnation, you're saying that God as a deity came down to earth in the form of a human being and died on the cross for our sins. That makes no sense. You're making two uncompatible comparables, basically. You cannot compare between those. Simple as this. I do not believe in two things. The original sin, I don't think I should be held accountable for what Adam made as a mistake, or my father or my grandfather. It doesn't matter to me. I believe, based on my belief, that every single soul is responsible for what they have done. They will be held accountable for what they have done. Sins are not passed over through blood. No such thing as curses through blood. Second point, I do not believe that God can die, because dying makes God cease to be God. God cannot do something that will make him cease to be God. For example, God cannot create a rock so heavy for him to lift, because it goes against the concept of being a God. God cannot be created, because if God is created, then he's no longer a God.
Can I reply?
I
want to let you land.
Making the claims.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not that I don't understand the Trinity because I chose to. It's because I tried to understand it and it still didn't make any sense to me.
Can I reply now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So firstly, you've demonstrated again that you don't understand the Christian worldview. Because Christians agree with you, divinity can't die, and we don't claim that divinity died. What we claim is that Christ's humanity died on a cross. That's what we actually claim. That is what we actually believe. That's what's confirmed at the Council of Ephesus. That's what the apostles teach when they repeat the refrain again and again and again, that Christ died according to the flesh. Christ died according to the flesh. Christ suffered according to the flesh. That is the refrain of the Bible. It's the teaching of the church. And so I say, Amen. God can't die. We believe that. So you've kind of misunderstood the Christian position. But you have also demonstrated that you have the same logic, because you said that whatever I do to the book, I'm just doing to the paper, not doing to the revelation. So in other words, you created a distinction between Mohammed, don't let him distract you. We made a distinction. You made a distinction between the material world, right? You made a distinction, right? Not that I ever would. Not that I ever would. But if I was to get this Quran and then kick it across the floor, right?
Wrong.
That would piss you off.
Let him finish.
Right?
Let him finish.
Wrong.
Yeah. You're just triggered. No one's your dhimmi. No one's your dhimmi. No one's your dhimmi. Thank you. Learn some manners. Now, if I was to kick this Quran across the floor, the first thing is there's a double think in your logic. Because firstly, you'd be really pissed off and you'd probably punch me for being disrespectful. Right? But the next thing is you've just tried to argue that if I did do that, I'm not actually kicking the revelation, just kicking the paper and the ink. So is it just paper and ink, or is it actually the revelation? What you're doing is, on one emotional level, you're saying that this is the word of Allah, but then intellectually you're saying, no, these are just paper and ink. But you're creating that distinction to say that if I were to do something as horrendous as kick the Quran across the floor, then I'm not doing that to the revelation. I can't affect the revelation. The revelation is unfazed, untouched. But the word of Allah is eternal. Is this book eternal? Obviously not. So what you're saying is that the eternal and the divine sit next to the material and the temporal, and that one, what happens to one doesn't affect the other. And we Christians say the same thing.
No way. No way.
I just want to address the point that you said that Jesus died on the cross as a flesh, okay?
Died in the flesh, yes.
Died in the flesh, okay. This is the Catholic view.
This is all Christians' view.
The Orthodox view says that the Legos... Let me speak. That the divinity of Jesus and his flesh never separated at any point.
But it doesn't say they come...
Orthodox, they say that.
Sorry, I'll let you finish. Sorry, my apologies, I'll let you finish.
Let me finish.
My apologies.
The Orthodox, because what you just said, yeah, the Catholics, they do believe in that. That the Legos and the Theos, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but the nature of Christ that is divine, separated from the nature of Christ that is not divine, which is the human nature, the Catholic belief. Now the Orthodox, on the other hand, they believe that they were never separated at any point. But that's a distinction between both.
Can I reply to that point?
I just want to continue on the paper point.
I'll be very quick. Very quick. Just to say that Orthodox and Catholics have exactly the same view of the crucifixion.
No.
They believe that the two natures of Christ are not confused, not mingled, not changed by one another, and not separated for an instant.
Catholics believe in that?
And Orthodox.
No way.
Catholics believe in that.
And Orthodox.
Okay.
Also,
Can you show me that?
Christian,
The Catholics believe that? I know that the Orthodox, they believe in that. I'm pretty sure of that.
I can prove it to you in just a very one simple statement. The Catholics.
May I ask, what is your background?
I've got a degree in religious studies.
No, you're wrong.
Just a Christian. Just a disciple of Jesus.
So no Catholics.
No, you're wrong.
I'm ecumenical.
You're wrong. Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
You need to learn some manners. manners.
You're wrong.
You need to learn some
Listen,
manners.
Apologize. You're wrong. And all.
Because we mentioned the camel.
No. Mr. Speaker, you're wrong.
Right.
And you
Sir,
come in
bro,
for Trump
Mohammed.
from America.
So very quickly, you can just check this for yourself. Just check if the Roman Catholic Church accepts the Council of Ephesus and the Council of Chalcedon. You'll see that they do, and it's the Council of Ephesus and the Council of Chalcedon that lay out the very doctrines we're talking about.
Why are the Catholics and Orthodox distinct?
Not for that reason. Not for that reason.
It's one of the reasons.
No, it really isn't.
It's one of the reasons.
No, I'm telling you as a religious studies student who knows for a fact you're wrong.
What did I read then?
Right.
What did I read?
Well, you read some, I don't know, some dodgy website. Probably a dodgy website.
Okay, because...
Or maybe you read something and you just didn't understand it.
Okay.
But that isn't the reason why Roman Catholics and Orthodox went their separate
One
ways.
of the reasons.
It isn't
It's
that.
not the main. It's
No,
one of the
it
reasons.
really isn't.
One of the reasons as well is something else like...
Mohammed, it's really not.
Okay.
I'm telling you as a religious studies student who's got a degree in religion and specialised in Christianity and Islam, you're just flat out wrong, bro. You're just flat out wrong.
Okay.
Right?
So you're saying that according to the Catholics,
You also said something else that was
similar
wrong.
to the Orthodox in the sense that
It's identical.
Logos and Theos never separated from one another.
Right, so let me just correct that. So logos is Greek for word and theos is Greek for God. In Christology, both for Orthodox and Catholics, you're essentially saying the same thing here. Because logos is divine and theos means God. So we wouldn't say God separates from God. What you're trying to say, and it's also wrong, is that the humanity separated from the divinity. That is not what anyone says. What we say is that Christ died according to the flesh, because the two natures are never separated, but they're never confused, they're never changed, and they're never mingled.
How can one nature die and the other survive?
Brilliant. How can I burn a Quran but the eternal word of Allah not be burned?
Same thing. It's not the same thing.
Oh, so answer that question then. Answer the question.
It's not the same thing.
No, I want you to answer the question.
You're burning a piece of paper. You can burn a piece of paper.
There you
What does that
go.
mean?
So you can
What does that
crucify, I'm going to answer your question. So you can crucify a body, but the divinity is not crucified.
mean? No.
Yes,
If you're talking
yes.
about a being.
Yes, yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
telling you that this book is separated from God. I tell you that now. I'm telling you it's separated. It's not part with God. This is not one with God.
Okay.
This is not one with God. So if this is burned, God does not burn because this is not one with God. You're telling me that the flesh, and so the Logos and Theos are one eternally.
Right.
And one burned or one died and the other didn't. I'm not making the same.
Right, one
claim.
second. You are making the same claim, you just don't understand the claims you're making.
No.
The reason why you don't understand the claims you're making is because you don't understand it from the Christian position. Let me just point out something. You just said if I burn this book, I'm only burning a book. Right? And that this book is separate from Allah. But let me ask you this question. Are these words the words of Allah?
The words?
Yes.
The words are
Yes.
the words of God, yes.
Brilliant. Is Allah ever separated from his words?
Words are a result of God.
Are they? That's not my question. Is Allah ever separated from his words?
What do you mean separated from His word?
As in, is the word of Allah something separate from Allah himself?
No, the words of Allah are a result of God. You speaking, your words, are they part of you or not?
Great. So 1 second. So you agree that these are the words of Allah, but this is not connected to Allah, separate from Allah, but you also affirm that these are the words of Allah and Allah is never separate from his words.
No, I'm affirming these words that you see, these are writings. These are not words. These are writings.
So
So these are words that are written down. These are words that are written down.
Yes.
So whatever you have here, it's written down as a word that got written down.
Yes.
So I cannot say, I'm writing a book. Let's say I write a book now. These words that I put down on paper,
Yes.
if you burn the book, is it going to affect me? No, it's not going to affect me. Okay? And my words are intangible. You cannot kill me from my words. you're making two comparisons that don't make any
let me
sense.
just walk you through it, because you have actually admitted it just a few minutes ago, but you didn't see it. You have affirmed that these are the words of Allah, and you have affirmed.
Written on.
Look, Mohammed, I didn't interrupt you. You have affirmed that these are the words of Allah, and you have affirmed that Allah is not separate from His words. But you have also affirmed that these are the words of Allah, but the words on the book are separate from Allah. So you have affirmed that the words of Allah are in their material form, changeable, destructible, kickable, burnable, whatever.
What do you mean material form?
But in their non-material form, they are never separate from Allah. In the same way, Muhammad, in the same way, we affirm that the person of the Logos possessed fully his own divine nature and the human nature that he created, and that when he suffered the stripes, he suffered them according to the flesh. He suffered them in the flesh. But the divinity never suffered stripes. When the humanity died, the divinity did not die. So we're affirming the same logic that you're affirming. We're just talking about two different topics. Yes. Yes. Tell me where's my logic wrong? Tell me how my logic wrong is. Go on.
My word, as long as I'm saying it, it's not separate from me. If I put my word on a paper, that's a book. That's no longer a word. That's a book now.
Right.
So it's a different thing. Now, if you're telling me Christ, which was sent by God, that He is God Himself, is God's incarnation on earth, and He died for our sins. So that God that you're talking about, that deity, based on, let's say, Catholic and Orthodox, according to what you just said, they're never separated from one another.
Yeah, they don't separate.
They don't separate.
How are they united? Do you know? So relevant to the question. So we're saying that the way in which they're united is in the person of the divine Logos, the angel of the Lord.
Okay, so
that is the point of their unity.
Which person?
The person of the Son.
So Jesus.
Yes, the person of the Son.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that person has two distinctive natures that are interlinked to one another.
They are united in the person. Yes, that's what we believe.
Okay. So it's one person, two distinctive natures.
Correct.
But both are non-separable from one another.
What time have we got?
No, it's not time. I'm getting messages from everyone.
Okay. What time is it? Just incidentally.
45 past 6:45.
Right, Mohammed, I've got to bring this to a close.
Okay. How about this one? How about this?
Yeah.
Let me go back. I'll read the same sources that I've read about the distinction between Catholics and Orthodox in this particular thing.
Fair enough.
Because I've also read about the Council of Nicaea, what happened there, the Arians, the kind of heresy that they have said.
Yep.
I've done some research on this topic. So let me go back and just try to understand again. Maybe next time I'll come with sources and code them to you.
Great, let's do that.
Instead of just me saying things that I understood.
That's totally fine, and that's totally respectable. Okay. Mohammed, what I want to do is, I know we started off a little confrontational, but all the way through I can tell it was good-humoured, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that. So, and I want to give you a gift as a goodbye gift, just a little gift for you, to demonstrate that however you felt the debate was going, there was no bad intention from me. You know, I try to do everything in love.
I don't consider this a debate.
Okay, that's fine. So here's my gift to you, a Muslim's pocket guide to Christianity. Have a read of that, come back with whatever questions. That's a little gift for you, just to show my appreciation and respect. Yeah?
To be honest with you, I'm just here for the discussion.
That's totally fine, I like that. Have you got a gospel?
Thank you, I think this is fine. I have it online.
Brilliant. Come, bring us your best questions. Bring us your best questions.
Anyways, the next time I'm gonna come with the same sources that I discussed.
Great, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Catholics and Orthodox and Protestants, maybe.
Yeah. Can I help you? The distinction that you're looking for is not between Orthodox and Catholics. The distinction that you're trying to enunciate and articulate is between Oriental Orthodox and Catholics. That's where the distinction that you're talking about. Yeah, but it wasn't the one you were talking about.
Also, the full name of the Orthodox Church.
So the Orthodox. Okay, I'm talking about the biggest Oriental Orthodox Church.
Forgive me, but